It started as a joke, or at least that's how I intended it. I had been married to Megan for 7 years, and for most of them, our marriage was comfortable, predictable, and maybe a little too safe. We laughed together, shared routines, and built a life that was stable but lacked fire. That evening, as we sat on the couch with glasses of wine, I made a teasing comment, lightly brushing it off as humor. "You know," I said with a smirk, "if I ever met a man better than me, I might be tempted." I expected a laugh, maybe a playful slap on the arm. I did not expect the reaction that followed. Megan froze, her glass of wine pausing midway to her lips. There was a flicker in her eyes, something I hadn't seen before, a mix of hurt, confusion, and disbelief. I laughed, trying to cover my nervousness. "I'm joking. Come on, don't look so serious." But the damage had been done. Her expression didn't change. If anything, it hardened. She set her glass down, silence stretching across the room like a living thing. "What do you mean? If I met a man better than you?" she asked, voice calm but edged with tension. I opened my mouth, trying to explain, but my words sounded hollow even to me. "I was just joking, Megan. Relax, it's nothing." But she wasn't relaxed. Then she said something that I'll never forget. "No," she whispered, almost to herself. "I can't do this. I can't stay married to someone who doesn't take me seriously." My heart sank. This was not a continuation of our usual playful banter. This was a line drawn in the sand that I hadn't seen coming. Before I could respond, she grabbed her coat. "I need some space," she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. She didn't pack bags, didn't leave notes. She just walked out, her heels clicking sharply on the hardwood floor, each step echoing louder than the last. I ran to the door, my voice catching as I called after her. "Megan, wait. Don't leave like this. It's a joke. Please just sit down and talk." But she didn't turn around. And that was it. That day, the man I thought I would grow old with walked out of my life, and I never saw him again. The silence that followed was suffocating. Friends and family were shocked when I explained what had happened. They couldn't believe a single joke had ended a 7-year marriage. But the truth was, it wasn't the joke. It was everything the joke represented. Megan had been dissatisfied for years, quietly harboring feelings that I had never noticed. My teasing comment was the spark that ignited what had been smoldering beneath the surface. In the weeks that followed, I replayed that moment endlessly, questioning myself, wondering if I could have said something differently, been more careful. But slowly, clarity began to emerge. The joke didn't destroy our marriage. The marriage had already been fragile, weakened by unmet needs, unspoken grievances, and quiet resentments. Megan leaving wasn't just about my words. It was about her finally acting on feelings she had suppressed for too long. I found solace in reflection. I realized that sometimes people leave not because of one single act, but because the cumulative weight of unhappiness finally becomes unbearable. Her leaving was painful, but it was also a revelation. Our love, as strong as I thought it was, wasn't enough to withstand years of silent frustration. Months later, I heard through mutual friends that Megan had moved on quickly. She was happier, she claimed, in a life that gave her the excitement, attention, and validation she felt she had missed. It stung, of course. But with time, I began to see it differently. Her departure had been abrupt, but it had opened the door for both of us to examine what we truly wanted. I realized that holding on to someone who had already mentally checked out would have been far worse than letting go. I started focusing on myself, my career, my passions, my friendships. For the first time in years, I felt free to explore who I was outside of a relationship that had grown stagnant. And while the memory of Megan leaving remained, it became less a wound and more a lesson. Never underestimate the quiet tensions that exist beneath the surface, and never assume a joke is just a joke when the stakes are so high. A year later, I reflected on that day often. I still felt pangs of sadness, but there was also a strange sense of liberation. The man I had thought would be with me forever had chosen his own path, and I had no choice but to forge mine. Life went on as it always does, and in that process, I discovered strength I hadn't known I possessed. Sometimes, I wonder what Megan thought of that day. Did she ever remember the joke, the spark that lit the fire? Did she think about the life we could have had, or was she already too far gone, too committed to her own vision of happiness? I'll never know. And strangely, that uncertainty has a kind of peace to it. Life is unpredictable, people are complex, and sometimes, endings come not with a warning, but with a single, unexpected step. In the end, the joke didn't destroy us. It revealed what was already broken. And while it hurt, It also freed me to understand that relationships require more than love. They require communication, attentiveness, and a shared vision. When one of those is missing, even the smallest comment can trigger irreversible change. Megan walked away that day, and I never saw her again. But in losing her, I found myself, and for the first time, I understood the power of self-awareness, acceptance, and resilience.